In the sun-baked landscapes of El Paso, Texas, a young boy named Michael Torres would lie in the dirt, his eyes tracing the paths of airplanes streaking across the vast desert sky. He'd tell his father, a quiet mechanic, "One day, I'm going to fly one of those." His dad would nod, offering a piece of wisdom that would shape Michael's life. "Then you better learn to fix what breaks, son, because everything that flies eventually lands." After high school, Michael joined the U.S. Air Force, chasing a sense of purpose. It was 2001. He was 19 when the Twin Towers fell. The world shifted on its axis, and before he knew it, Michael was on a flight to Kuwait, and then into the heart of Iraq. The desert at Balad Air Base felt familiar at first, the dry air, the relentless heat, but this wasn't El Paso. The sand here smelled of burning oil and metal. The air was a constant, tense hum of helicopters and distant explosions. As an aircraft mechanic, Michael's job was to keep the Black Hawks and C-130s flying, but survival, he quickly learned, was about more than just technical skill. It was a fragile mix of routine, paranoia, and sheer luck. In the crucible of war, friendships formed fast. There was Sergeant Harris, whose jokes could cut through the tension of a firefight. There was Lena, a medic from Detroit, who clutched a stuffed rabbit for luck. And there was Ramirez, his roommate from New Mexico, who dreamed of being a teacher. Every night, they spoke of home, painting pictures of a world that felt galaxies away. Then came May 2005. The alarms shrieked incoming mortar fire. Michael was on the tarmac. He dove behind a Humvee just as the world exploded. He woke up to a ringing in his ears and a numb leg. Ramirez didn't wake up at all. That night drew a line in the sand of Michael's life, before and after. He recovered physically, but a part of him had shattered. The desert wind began to sound like screaming. He finished his tour, and as the plane lifted off from Baghdad, he whispered to the ground below, "You can keep part of me, but not all." He didn't realize the desert would follow him home. Back in El Paso, the world felt smaller, muted. People said, "Welcome home," but the words hung in the air, empty. His mother cooked too much. His friends asked too many questions, and his father, once a pillar of strength, now seemed fragile. Michael tried to slip back into his old life classes, a job at a garage, dating, but the nights were a battlefield. He'd wake up drenched in sweat, the ghost sound of mortar echoing in his mind. He didn't have a name for it then. He just called it the noise. One day, the weight became too much. He pulled his car over, paralyzed, as the sunset bled across the sky. The realization hit him with the force of a physical blow. The desert didn't end, it just moved inside me. Years drifted by in a haze of unspoken struggle. Then, one day, Michael found himself at a local veterans center. He didn't go to talk, he just needed a place to sit. A voice cut through his silence. "You look like you've been holding your breath for a few years." It was Dr. Elaine Carter, a therapist. She didn't press him for war stories. Instead, she asked a simple question: "What keeps you going?" After a long pause, Michael answered, "Fixing things. Machines, mostly." That became his lifeline. Dr. Carter encouraged him to channel this into something bigger. He started a repair shop for old motorcycles and cars, a place where veterans could work with their hands, find camaraderie, and just breathe. He called it Second Gear Garage. It wasn't just a business, it was a sanctuary. Soon veterans from all over El Paso were showing up. Some came to work on engines, others just to be in a place where silence wasn't awkward. They talked about spark plugs and torque wrenches, not firefights and loss. But between the clank of tools and the sound of country music on the radio, something incredible began to happen: healing. Michael found himself mentoring a young Marine named Tyler, who was grieving his brother lost in Afghanistan. One day, Tyler's grief exploded. He smashed a wrench against the floor. Michael didn't flinch. He just said quietly, "I used to break things too, until I realized I was the one that needed fixing." A silent understanding passed between them. The work continued, but the weight was a little lighter. In 2018, Michael returned to school, finally finishing his degree in aeronautical engineering. The boy who once dreamed of planes was now teaching others about them at the local community college. One evening, he drove to a small airfield. As the Cessna took off, its engine a powerful hum in his chest, he closed his eyes and smiled. "I finally made it fly, Dad," he whispered. He wasn't talking about the plane, he was talking about himself. Today, Second Gear Garage is still running, a beacon for veterans in El Paso. On one wall, a mural depicts a desert landscape with a Black Hawk rising toward the sun. Beneath it are words Michael painted himself. "We don't leave the desert behind. We learn to grow something inside it." The noise hasn't vanished completely. Some nights the wind still carries echoes of the past. But now Michael has learned to listen, to distinguish memory from danger. And when a new veteran walks into the garage, quiet and haunted, Michael doesn't ask for their story. He just hands them a wrench and says, "Start wherever it's cracked." And in the therapeutic rhythm of metal on metal, two souls begin, quietly, to heal. Thank you for watching Michael's story. If his journey resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe for more stories of resilience and hope.